went to the video game room. I think I sat in 2 or 3 panels. Went to a few of like the photo op things.
Who
Where
was
all the
there?
cosplayers, in terms of like
Oh,
personalities.
did they do? Oh, I'm thinking of Comic Con. Actually, I was thinking
No,
if they
no,
had
no.
anyone.
I phrased it wrong, but essentially like they do cosplay meetups. So if you're all dressed up in the
Mhm.
same series, they all kind of show up at the same place and take pictures together.
Gotcha.
Did you get any good pictures?
Not really.
Okay. Is that the shirt that you wore?
Yeah.
That is a good shirt.
Yes.
Where did you get that shirt?
I don't remember. I honestly do not remember. I know I ordered it online, but I can't remember from where.
That is a pretty fantastic shirt. Well, enough about shirts and enough about Anime Boston. Welcome, everyone, to the Pass Control Podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we talk about Garfield too much. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week. As always, I'm your host, Brenden Groom, and joining me on this lovely, don't know what day it is. What day is it? Saturday? This lovely Saturday evening is the anime senpai himself, straight out of Anime Boston 2022, Mr. Michael Desir. Mike, how are you doing this evening?
Yeah, I like how you said we talk about Garfield too much and didn't elaborate on it. So anyone listening is just fucking like, when were they talking about Garfield?
I don't know.
I was going to bring that up too.
You got to tune into the fucking pre-show. I mean, what do you want? What do you want from me?
We also didn't talk about it in the pre-show.
Yeah, but they don't need to know that. They weren't there. They have no idea. If you're not watching this live or you're not watching this later on YouTube, Mike is wearing a Garfield shirt, which also you can't fully see because of the way the camera has Mike's name below his screen. So if you want to just like lift a little bit, Mike, give the people what they want. There it is, baby. All right, and then you're good. You're good. Get that nice shot.
On the bottom?
It says spaghetti. It says lasagna.
Spaghetti.
Neon Genesis Lasagna Galleon. Anyways, Mike, how are you doing?
Yeah, fine. Whatever. Moving on.
Okay. Also joining us this evening is not the Disney daddy, the Fortnite father, Todd Gary. Shit's getting scary. Todd, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. That's all I get for you.
Is Todd roboting for anyone else, or am I lagging? What's going on? Okay, it's Todd. All right, as long as it's Todd and not me, that's fine.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I noticed it, but
Well, because I don't want there to be issues with the whole thing. If there's just issue with Todd for the moment, that's fine.
Yeah.
Professional production over here, and then rounding us out tonight is the Disney daddy, and also the Fortnite father, Dominic Forty. Dom, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well.
You know, this is like a month in a row where Dom's fucking doing well, and you love to hear it. You really fucking love to hear it.
I was going to pretend I was having connection issues, but I didn't want to talk for long enough to make it seem like I was having connection issues.
Fair.
That's a bit to commit to, and like no one wants that.
So before we get into this evening's episode, a little upfront, if you didn't look at what the name of this episode is when it popped up on your podcast feed or wherever else you're listening to this, we are in a PTC Movie Club episode, and we're going to talk about the movie Moonlight. So if you haven't watched Moonlight, or you haven't watched Moonlight yet, and you want to listen to us talk about it, this is your last chance.
Oh, I thought we were watching Moon Knight.
So it's funny. A lot of the time when I was typing in Moonlight to like pull up like, you know, facts and other things I'm looking for, it kept, even if I typed in Moonlight and even if the results were giving me Moonlight, it would be like Moonlight, you know, box office, Marvel. I'm like, who thinks that Moon Knight is called Moonlight? What is going on? Anyways, so we're going to talk about the movie Moonlight.
We're close enough.
The Barry Jenkins A24 film. So if you haven't watched that and you don't want us to spoil that for you, this is your chance to kindly go listen to something else or press pause on this episode and come back to it at a later time. But even before we do that, a couple of housekeeping things. This episode, of course, sponsored by our good friends at Goodnight Fatty. If you're in the Salem, Massachusetts area or the North Shore of Massachusetts on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you want yourself something hot, something tasty, something sweet, something fresh out of the oven. head on down to 1 Washington Square, get yourself a delicious fatty. And if you don't know what a fatty is, check them out on social media at Goodnight Fatty and educate yourself on these tasty, tasty treats. Mike, did you get cookies yet? Because one of them is fucking s'mores this week.
I did not get cookies yet. That might be a today thing. Maybe it'll be a tomorrow thing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I know one is s'mores. I think one is a Crunch Bar related item. And then I don't know what the third one is. I forget. But I do like myself a s'mores cookie, so I might have to throw an order in before the night is over. But check them out at social media, and if you head down, let them know Past Controller sent you. Because this is a PTC Movie Club, it was my pick. That means that Dom is up next for the month of June. Dom, do you know what your movie is?
I do. I'll be doing a second movie for this month as well.
Oh, okay, all right. Let's reveal those at the end of the episode. Let's string them along. We'll reveal Dom's June picks for the end at the end of this episode. We also do have to at some point, unless this is what you're talking about, we do have to watch The Godfather. So that's an aside.
Yeah, probably not a June thing.
Okay, that's fair. I'm nervous. Is Dom making us watch High School Musical Part 1 and Part 2? I don't know why I think there's 2 of those movies. Are there 2 of them?
There's 3 of them.
Oh,
there's 3 of them.
Dear.
Plus the television series.
Well, we're not. All right. Anyways, we're here.
Which, of course, is High School the Musical, the series.
That's what it's called. High School the Musical. High School Musical, the series.
The series.
The series.
Come on now. Is this a Kingdom Hearts game? Why is it named that?
It could be in Kingdom Hearts.
Well, I was gonna say, what if they put
That might be
High School Musical,
There you go. The
biker
answer
My
is
School
Brendan's
Musical?
previous question.
Yeah.
which
What would get me
franchise we want? Yeah,
We want High School
we
Musical.
want Troy Bolton.
Mike really wants Sharpay to fucking dunk on somebody.
We want a Wildcat Keyblade.
Wildcat Keyblade. It kind of does roll off the tongue. I'm not gonna lie.
It's sounding sicker and sicker.
It's too OP though. It's like a secret world. There should be secret worlds in Kingdom Hearts. Maybe there are. I don't know. Anyways, we're here to talk about Moonlight. But before we get into it, as we always start things off with these episodes, with a budget of a cool $4 million, where do we think this did in the box office?
A cool $4 million. Wow.
So I believe earlier I had looked at this year in the Oscars, and Moonlight won Best Director.
Supporting. It won Best Movie. It was the one they messed
think it
up
won
with.
Did it win Best Movie?
Damn,
That
Tom.
was the
okay.
one that they said La La Land.
Sorry.
Remember-
No,
Yeah, that
it
was La La
won.
Land.
They both won. I think La La
Yeah,
Land
Merc-
won Best Musical, musical
Oh,
comedy,
musical,
and
yeah.
and they won Best Drama. I believe what I had read was that it was the second lowest earning Oscar,
That makes
Best
sense.
Picture winner
Of all
of all
time.
time,
Interesting.
or at least to that point. I don't know what's won since, but
I mean, with a budget
so
of
that
$4
should-
million, it could. Yeah, it can.
So that should
it
give
can
us
make
a-
whatever.
yeah.
I
So,
was
I
gonna
don't
say. I was gonna say 12 million.
That's not a bad guess.
Okay.
I might even,
Todd's locking in
I
12.
might even go under that.
Wow. Okay.
I was gonna say. I was thinking of saying 8, but I was like 8
I
or
think
12.
8. I think 8's where I'm gonna go.
So this is the way we do it. It's not Price is Right. It's just whoever's closest. So we get 8, we got 12. Mike, where you hopping in? Mike, where you hopping in?
Go with 801, bub.
Middle. Split the diff.
I should split the diff. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna say 20.
Wow!
Okay.
Wow!
Okay.
Wow! Mike, now if you were a smart man, Mike, what you would have done was just go $1 over Todd, because that would have given you the closest over if it was over Todd's pick. You know what I mean? But it
Yeah.
doesn't matter because you fucking slam dunked that shit in. This got just over 65 mil worldwide.
Oh.
So I meant to look.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm actually
is that-
shocked at that.
I don't know what.
Yeah. Did it get a re?
So that's what I was gonna say. I don't know. Yeah, this looks like it. How long do movies typically stay in theaters? How many months?
I think it depends.
3 or 4,
on
and then
film.
the Oscars, they generally bring them back for Oscar season,
Okay,
depending on when they were released.
because it looks like, at least according to scrolling through Box Office Mojo that this it released in October of 2016, and it ran until May 4th, 2017, which makes me think that it must have taken a break at some point, but because of its Oscar popularity, must have came back and made a second run. I'm not really sure what they do in these scenarios with these types of Oscar movies, if they put them in for a long period of time afterwards. But looking at the dates here, I don't see a week where it skips and has like no sales. Like it looks like it just runs straight through. So I don't know. When are the Oscars normally? In January?
Like February, March, I want to say.
Yeah, so maybe it was running. Maybe it was just running in select theaters in January or something, and then when the Oscars hit, it kind of bumped it back out. I have no idea. But October to May seems like a long time for most movies, not just a more. I don't know. Is this an art house film, Todd? Is this what you would describe this as?
Yeah. It's so. Did you say it grossed 27.9 in the United States, and the rest of it was overseas?
I didn't say that. Oh, so I guess that could have been that. It could have been a split. It could have been it released here first, and then maybe it got a wide release internationally, and that's why it was
that's what it was.
longer. But yeah, domestically it did 27, and then internationally it did 37. So just over 65 worldwide. So we have that. But as Dom had alluded to, this is a movie with tons of nominations and some awards under its belt. Obviously, there was the whole, it won Best Picture, but I don't know what happened that night. I don't know if they read it wrong or they were handed the wrong card, but they read La La Land.
I think Steve Harvey went up there and he read it wrong or something like that, and it was like a whole ordeal.
I don't know. Oh, Miss America thing or whatever.
Miss America thing. I think.
I don't know who read it wrong.
It was two very old people. It was like
I think it might have said runner up.
I remember the audience was like dead silent. Like I remember you could almost hear like an oh my god, like when they realized they said the wrong movie.
Yeah.
Which La La Land, another great movie.
So I'm just looking at this now. So it originally played in 4 theaters with a limited release. Then a month later, it opened to 650 theaters. Then in February, it opened to 1,014 theaters. Then after the Oscars, it opened to 1,564 theaters.
Interesting. So yeah, so we had like a gradual release.
Yeah.
I don't know when film festival type, I don't know when in the year Cannes takes place. I don't know if this was like a Sundance film or a Cannes Film Festival thing or something. You know what I mean? I don't know that much about that. So I don't know if it was released in a small reason because it was one of those types of movies, and then it just kind of
I think anything under A24's belt, A24 has a lot of power with marketing and everything else. So
even back in 2016 though?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I can check whatever. There was a lot of movies.
When did
it was
when did A24 start turning into the thing that you love?
I don't know. They did a lot.
Films.
So Warren Beatty was handed a duplicate envelope of Emma Stone's Best Supporting Actress.
That's right, and it had her name, but it also said La La Land.
It's La La
he didn't
Land,
make
so
sense
they just
of it.
Yeah.
La La Land.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna pull up. I'm on A24's website right now. I mean, none of these movies sound familiar to me, but I'm just gonna read them. 2013 looks like their first film, A Glimpse Inside the Mind of Charles Swan 3. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Well.
Ginger and Rosa. Spring Breakers.
Spring Breakers.
I mean, we did Spring Breakers, the one with
my brother.
With fucking Riff Raff. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bling Ring, The Spectacular Now, Enemy,
Bling
Under
Ring
the Skin.
Bling Ring was something that we know, yeah.
Yeah, it was about a real story about people breaking into rich people's houses, right?
Enemy looks like it has your boy in it, Todd, Jake Gyllenhaal, and it's directed by Dennis Villeneuve. How come you haven't picked that movie yet?
Yeah.
How come you haven't picked that movie?
Bling Ring was directed by Sofia Coppola.
Yeah. And then Locke was a huge movie in 2014. It was a one with
Tom Hardy.
Hardy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like, is that when A24? Like, when did A24? I feel like there's this, at least according to you, there's like this aura around A24. It's like they don't make bad movies. So, like, when did that hit?
I don't know.
I guess for you
Tusk was
personally.
2014 though.
Would you say?
Probably,
So
I mean,
Tusk.
it
not
would be
me
after
personally.
that. So it'd be after that.
I would say Ex Machina and on is when it started really taking off.
Okay.
Like anything after Ex Machina, like where is it?
Well, not Annihilation. I don't think Annihilation.
The Witch, Green Room, Swiss Army Man, Moonlight.
Room.
Yeah.
Oh, is
Room.
the witch the girl from Queen's Gambit?
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
You wouldn't like that movie though.
I mean, I'm just looking at these stills for these movies when I highlight them. I don't think I'm gonna like most of these movies.
No, yeah. Well, I mean,
people love The Lobster. Like, is that actually a good movie or no?
I want to watch it.
It's weird. It's from the same guy who did another movie. It's like the same kind of style. I don't want to say anything about it though, because I'll spoil it probably.
So you think from 2016 on is when?
Yeah, I mean, Spring Breakers got positive reviews, and the director of Spring Breakers is the guy who directed Kids.
Yeah, I'm not saying
so he's like
put out good movies. I'm saying like
no, like
I feel like there's an aura around A24 now where it's like all of their movies are very like people are hyped up for them.
Yeah, Harmony Korine, I think that's who directed Spring Breakers. He did Kids. He's like one of the original like indie movie directors. So like I don't know if he has any backing to A24. Because I'm curious about some of these first directors that like actually did movies for them.
Yeah. Anyways,
Jonah Hill directed a movie for them.
It's so good, man. It's one of the movies I've almost picked. Mid-90s, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
Isn't that the skateboarding movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of movies here that I meant to watch, like just going through the titles, like, oh yeah, I meant to watch that. Like,
highly recommend.
I just
that
keep
movie,
forgetting.
It's like it like blew me away at how good it was. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did.
Yeah. So going back to the award conversation, it won Best Picture in 2016. It also won. It won Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role from Mahershala Ali. Best Performance. It was nominated for Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role for Naomi Harris, which I actually should look to see who else was in that category because I feel like his mother was like I feel like actually most of the acting in the movie was very, very, very good.
I think the acting was one of the best parts of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think she plays her role in the film like incredibly well. So I'm just curious who she was up against in that category because I think she should have won. Best Achievement in Directing nominee for Barry Jenkins. These are all nominations. Best Achievement in Cinematography, James Laxton, which I again also think that like there are scenes in this movie that are just like beautifully shot. In the cinematography,
I think pretty much all of it between like lighting and like even when he's in the water, the way the camera was. There's just so many scenes. The lighting is great too. Like the use of color in this movie is really cool.
Viola Davis won for Fences, by the way.
Okay, I never saw that, but I think people did like that movie, or at least they like Viola Davis. Which I mean, is irrelevant. Anyways, Best Achievement in Film Editing. And then Best Achievements in Music Written for Motion Pictures. And then, we don't have to go down the whole list of awards, but it was nominated for some BAFTAs. It won, Mahershala Ali won a Screen Actors Guild Award for it. It was nominated for some other things there, and then a bunch of other award show nominations and wins. But I pulled up Barry Jenkins because I don't think I've seen other Barry Jenkins films. Have any of you guys seen?
He only has one other
that you've seen.
Street No, I think that's like he only has one other movie.
Oh, that he was a director on.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at his IMDb now. Some of these things are producer roles or other credits. Yeah, I'm curious then as to why is he working on anything currently?
Probably, I would assume so. This movie was a while ago, right?
To be announced
2016.
Strong.
But
Oh, but he's not the director.
Before we get into the nitty gritty of the film itself, what do we think this got as a tomato meter and an audience score?
High 90s.
In both?
I guarantee you this didn't jive with audiences. I'm gonna say like 75, 70,
I still
75.
I still think it'll hit 80s.
What are you saying for Tomato Todd? Tomato Toddy. Just touchdown in Tomato Town.
I feel like 98.
So Todd's saying 98 tomato, and you're saying 80 for audience? Is that what you're saying?
What did I say? 80? I said 70.
Oh, I don't
no, what did I say? Yeah.
Just give me the two numbers, baby. Give me the two numbers. Hit me with it.
Oh,
Yeah, 98 and
me?
what? Yeah.
98 and 70.
98 and 70. Dom?
Yep.
You said high 90s.
But yeah, probably. I mean, I would probably go 98 or 97, and
Okay.
then like I don't know, 80,
Okay. Mike, where are you?
85.
85. Okay.
Or, yeah.
Mike, where you landing here?
90, like 92 for critic, and maybe 85 for audience.
Okay. Okay. You guys were all kind of hovering around it. No one really nailed it. I guess Todd might be the overall closest. It got a 98 tomato and a 79 audience. Dom was closest audience because you said what, Mike, 85?
What was audience
I said
again?
85 audience.
Audience was 79.
Okay.
So yeah, 98. This might be the highest tomato score we've had so far. 98. I don't think anything else was.
Probably.
What was?
Critic-wise, I said probably, yeah.
Unless it was Ex Machina. Let me see what Ex Machina's was. I forget. 92. Yeah, so this is probably the highest. I don't think anything else we've watched has been higher than 98 or even 98. I don't think. Oh, Mission Impossible 6. Duh.
Bang.
How excited are you for the new? What's the name of 6? It's Rogue Nation.
The one
Ghost
I had you
Protocol.
guys watch was one of them. I don't remember which one we watched. It was either Ghost Protocol
Was Jeremy
or
Renner in it? Oh, he looks like he's in a lot of them. I don't even remember
He's
him
only
being in the
like 2
movie.
of them.
All right,
He's only like 2.
he's in
Like,
Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation. So
Yeah, but it's one of those two.
I think I did Ghost Nation with you guys. Let me double check.
well, those are that you just
That's
took the
the-
you just
that's
split
the
the
mix of
titles.
both of
Yeah,
them.
Mike, what the fuck?
There we go. Let me look up. I think it might have been
I
Ghost
think we
Protocol.
did,
No, Rogue Nation.
No, it was Rogue Protocol.
There it is.
Well, if it was Rogue Nation has a 94 and an 87. That's pretty fucking high.
Yeah, people like these movies.
I mean, is it fair to say do Mission Impossible movies now do better than James Bond movies?
Probably. It's like, yeah.
Probably.
I think.
Wow. Anyways, that's a different conversation for a different episode. So we got the things out of the way that we wanted to get out of the way. Overall, this was everyone's first time watching this movie, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just as like a blanket kind of general thoughts and feelings, what did everyone think about it? Did everyone like the movie?
Yeah, it was decent. It was fine.
Oh, okay. Some hesitancy with Mike. Mike's not on board. Mike's not feeling it. Mike said Brendan's picks are trash.
I think it took me too long to figure the movie out, I guess.
You didn't like the twist?
The twist really threw me when I forgot Mahershala Ali was not a main character and was dead by the end of the first act.
Yeah, Juan.
That was also something I was going to bring up, is that like when I went into this knowing that Mahershala Ali had won an Oscar for it, so when he was dead like 10 minutes into the movie, I was like, I don't know what this movie's about.
I mean, it was more than 10 minutes, but I also agree. I said
It was really early.
it was in the first act.
Yeah, the first act.
Oh, I'm sorry, 20 minutes.
No, the movie. I would say the like chapter 1 or whatever you want to call it, the little part of the movie, because it's broken up into 3 sections. It was probably, the movie was what, 2 hours long?
Just
Yeah.
about.
Like an hour and 50
I would
minutes.
say that the first arc was probably at least 30 to 40 minutes. As I feel like the middle arc was the shortest, or maybe the last arc was the shortest.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, I agree, and I think Todd, because Todd and I were talking about this earlier, I think he's also in the same boat. I think it's easy to say all of us were surprised that Mahershala Ali was not in the movie for a long time, especially because
it was just kind of like a throwaway at one point. Like they were like, "Yeah, Juan's just dead."
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I was like, "Wait, what?"
Well,
we're not gonna show him die on screen or anything. He's just dead.
So
yeah,
I think there's a reason to that, and if it is the reason, or it's at least the way that I'm interpreting the movie, I wanted more of Mahershala Ali's character, because I think Mahershala Ali is a great actor, but I also thought that his character was really compelling and obviously like really important to Chiron. So after I watched the movie and I was like, thinking about it and kind of like dissecting it and like revisiting certain scenes and like just kind of, letting it settle for a little bit and thinking about it a little bit. I feel like this movie is obviously very clearly told through Chiron's perspective, even when you're getting other people's problems or other people's story, it's still only really seen through his eyes, and it's only really seen through maybe what matters to him. And I'm not saying that Juan dying didn't matter to him, but I feel like I'd have to look back now, but I think the last time that you see Chiron with Juan is when they're at the table, and
when
he asks him, about the F word, and he asks him like how he would know if he's gay, and then when he flat out asks him if he deals drugs. I think that might be the last time they're together. Which, if you like kind of dissect the movie through that lens of like everything you're seeing is how Chiron specifically is affected by it, I think it's an interesting way to show and tell the story. I don't know. I appreciated it.
Yeah, it's wild because you actually think that like he's like he's like a really good dude, but he's like the reason the mom's fucking the way she is.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is I feel like the movie, like, it does a good job of showing a lot of the things that are at play here. Like, obviously, lives in a rough area. Obviously, he seemingly lives in poverty. You don't know. I don't think he ever says what happens to his dad or where his dad is. I don't think that ever comes up in the movie, but you can see him struggling with obviously his sexuality, obviously being, picked on for seemingly that, and, maybe other reasons because he appears, skinnier. So maybe he's weaker. So, the other people are picking on him throughout the film. His mom clearly has addiction problems, but you get presented with those problems, but it's through how it affects him and not her. Like, you're not getting scenes of her, really. You're mostly getting scenes of her interactions with Chiron. There is the one scene, which I think is important to the overall story, where her and Mahershala, or Juan, are confronted a second time because he sees her not knowingly out at the spot where, I don't know, his guy is dealing drugs or whatever. I don't know. I feel like I'm just talking in a loop now. But yeah, I think we can all agree that we were all taken by surprise when Mahershala was seemingly gone 20, 30 minutes into the movie. Especially because I felt like, and maybe it's because he won an award and I didn't know too much about the film. Like, I don't know what you guys all knew about the movie going into it, but all I really knew about the movie was that I thought correctly that the movie was about like a black man growing up and like dissecting his sexuality or whatever. That's like all I knew about the movie. I knew that it was a movie about his sexuality, which I think there's a lot more here than just that. But Yeah, I don't know. So overall thoughts, Mike's kind of just, it was okay. What about you guys?
I thought it was a really good movie. It's just it was a character study, and I am not a huge fan of character studies. So
Okay, only character comedies, no character studies.
I got bored. Not that I got bored with it, but I found myself being like, I could be doing something else right now.
Wow.
But then I'd see a scene and I'd be like, oh shit, that's like really impressive cinematography. Like I love the lighting in the scene.
Yeah.
That it would the movie would draw me back in, but not the plot, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense, but I could appreciate that this was a really good movie. I just wasn't along for the story, I guess.
Okay.
And not that I don't appreciate the story, it's just I just am not a huge fan of character studies, I guess.
Fair. Todd, what about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of on Dom's level a little bit. I liked it. I thought the acting was great. I don't know. I don't know what it was, to be honest with you. The jumping up the time gaps kind of threw me off a little bit. I wasn't expecting anything like that. I honestly thought at the end of this movie that Chiron was gonna shoot the dude.
I'd consider that as well. I'd consider that as well.
Because he changed his whole who he was, and that was the only guy he ever been with, and I thought he was going to kill him after that to just be this new person. And I was like, if this goes this, and I was very glad it didn't go that way. Though.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, this is a much better ending.
See, I disagree. I feel like the movie. I don't think that Chiron ever changed who he was. I think that the whole movie is somebody who doesn't know who he is, or maybe he knows who he is, but is not doesn't feel comfortable with anyone in his life showing who he actually is. So in the first arc, he's quiet. He doesn't talk to anybody. He even doesn't talk to Juan, even though he feels like he can trust Juan. He keeps going back to their house. I forget what Janelle Monáe's character's name is, but he goes back. Teresa, maybe.
Yeah. Teresa.
And Teresa stays present throughout each arc. I don't think she shows up in the third arc, but she is mentioned.
By the mother and by
Kevin, I think.
Kevin.
I think
Kevin
also brings her up.
Kevin gets his number that way.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So she's present still. It's obviously someone that he trusts or wants to confide in. But I think that's the thing is you look at in the first arc, he's trying to open up to Juan and Teresa, but for whatever reason, he leaves that scene because he feels like he's not in a place where he, is fully can be himself, or maybe he doesn't know who he is. He's young. Maybe he doesn't know who he fully is. And that's just not about, maybe not necessarily about just sexuality. It's also just about, he just doesn't maybe know who he is. And then even when he goes back to Teresa's house in the second arc and he stays there for the night, they're making the bed and it seems like he wants to talk to her, but he still can't. You know what I mean? It seems like he wants to talk about who he is or trust someone and he just can't. And I think the first time you see him try to trust someone and being reciprocated with what might be something he can feel comfortable with is, there are moments like that with Juan, but I don't think I think once it gets to the table conversation, that changes. And then obviously he dies at some point. But in the second arc, when he is on the beach with Kevin, before they, are intimate together physically, I think it's the first time you get to see Chiron be intimate intellectually and not feel like he doesn't belong. Because he talks about crying. He asks Kevin if he cries. They talk about how the breeze off of the ocean, he's like, sometimes you can feel this down by our neighborhood, like once in a while. When you do, everything just stops, and like that. I like that scene a lot, like that line of dialogue, because I think it was the first time that someone, maybe at least what they showed in the film, the first time that someone spoke to Chiron and he actually felt it and resonated with it, and it wasn't like someone bullying him or his mom treating him the way she does and all this stuff. Because that's the other thing, is like he doesn't even feel any love at home, seemingly. He hates his mother. There's some reconciliation in the third arc, but he kind of just is always alone. He never feels like himself until the moments with Kevin in the second arc and the moments with Kevin at the end. But even at the end, even with Kevin in the third arc, I feel like it is still there are a lot of barriers to get through before you get to that final scene where he's holding him again. Are they doing what they did on the beach? Who knows? But it's irrelevant, because I think he feels like himself again. He feels safe. He feels like he can trust somebody. I don't know how we got to this point. I don't know what we were talking about before.
I don't know. I was going to bring up, so was the last scene we see him with Juan is at the table where
I believe
he like
so.
asks him, yeah.
Yeah.
Is the scene before that the one at the beach?
I don't know if that's what is directly before it, but I think that takes place before. Is that the
scene with Juan before that? Like, is that the last time we see Juan before the?
I think so.
He
Yeah.
goes to the.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
just thinking about it.
That's the last time we see Juan with Chiron, because after that, Juan.
Yes,
yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So my thought is that Chiron opens up to Juan, not like talks to him, but he's like, yeah, like I want to learn how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
He's like go, like it almost seems like he's like physically trusting him, like, yes,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna teach me how to swim, and like you're not gonna let me drown. And then the next scene after that, he feels betrayed by him, where he knows that he's selling his mother drugs, like that he's the reason that his home life is a mess.
Bad. Yeah.
Act 2, they have the moment at the beach with Kevin, and then the next time we see them is Kevin beating the shit out of him. Like, he feels betrayed by Kevin.
Yes.
After he had just it's almost like anytime he like trusts somebody, the next time he is with that person, they betray him.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes the third act, like, it takes him longer to like reopen up to Kevin.
Yeah.
And it like really takes like him being at the house, like yeah, I'm not who I like want to be, like. It takes Kevin saying like, yeah, I'm comfortable the way I am, like.
Yeah. I need to look for it. I'm pretty sure in each act, at least one person asks him who he is. I think they specifically say, "Who is you, Chiron?" And he never answers them. I think the only time he gives an answer is at the end of the movie when they're in Kevin's kitchen and Kevin's like, "Who is you, Chiron?" And then he starts to talk about the stuff they talk about at the end. I will say too, I don't know if this was like apparent. Like, I don't know if this was just like abundantly apparent, or if it was just something that was there and you maybe had to kind of catch it or not catch it. But clearly, the beach is like a milestone for his. Like, I feel like the beach plays a huge role in pivotal growth moments for Chiron, because the beach is where him and Juan open up together. The beach is where him and Kevin have their moment together. The beach is where they go back at the end because Kevin lives near the beach and he looks down at the beach because he knows that the beach in the water means something to him. And I do like when Juan is teaching him how to swim, there's a scene, there's like a shot where he's like having him lay out flat. He's like, "I got you." Like, and he's like holding his head. And it feels like because the beach is so important to Chiron, like in these pivotal scenes, it's almost like kind of like ritualistic in a way, that scene where it's like he's being baptized at the beach. Like the beach is, that water is like a symbol for his life. And I appreciated that.
When the scene first opened, I was like, oh, is he like baptizing him into like his life almost?
Yes.
Like I'm taking you away from your mother, like you're gonna be baptized like in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did seem like that to me as well.
Yeah. It was a lot of the shots in this movie are really good. Some of the other things I noticed a lot that I really enjoyed was like, it doesn't happen too frequently where it's like just part of the film in an annoying way, but it happens in certain scenes where it'll be two people having a conversation, usually Chiron and somebody, and the shot will be a close-up of the person's face, but it is not them talking. It's almost like you're watching the person, like they're talking, but the scene being shown is like just them looking at the other person. So like it'll be Chiron talking, and it'll be like a close-up shot of Chiron's face, but he's not talking in the scene. He's just talking over that scene while they're having the active conversation. And I don't know, every time they did that, it was only a few times, it felt like it was showing you the person's, I don't know, it felt like it slowed down the moment somehow in a weird way, and like showed you the person's reactions and like feeling it in a different type of way. I don't know. I never seen that in a movie. It was really not weird. I enjoyed it. I just don't know how to explain it, I guess. I don't know if anyone else knows what I'm talking about. I can find a scene later and clip it and send it to you guys.
I don't remember those scenes.
I don't even know.
I do like that, like the scenes where he is like haunted by his life and haunted by his past, like in his dreams. And I think those scenes are really like kind of poignant with the cinematography and like the way, like one of the scenes that they show more than once is when his mother is in the hallway, and it's another scene with fantastic lighting. It's like a dark hallway. The room off to the right has like a red light.
She's like she's like the devil, man. It's like the red behind like
yes.
It's
like very,
it's
very
like a horror
good.
Movie.
Yeah. And she's just like, don't look at me, or what I think is what she says in the scene. But
the first one is her calling him the F word.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's muted, right? You don't hear.
There's no audio.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't hear it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the scene after that is him going to the house.
The table. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I like when he asks when he's at the table though, when he asks him what the F word is, and he's like, "You don't let them call you that. You decide what you are." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have the choice.
Yeah.
That was a great scene.
Yeah. It does stink. I mean, like, I like the movie a lot, so I don't. It would have been a different movie if Juan was in the movie further. I think because Juan clearly understood that Juan clearly understood, because they had conversations about it too directly, but Juan clearly understands that, like, there are racial issues, and Chiron has to deal with that growing up. They're in a bad area. He has to deal with those problems. And he's, through Juan's perspective, potentially gay. So, like, that's another thing that he has to deal with. And I think he also understands very clearly that Chiron doesn't have a father figure or a father that we know of. So I think he understands the importance of, like, being a strong male figure for him. And then when he, like, that was the thing that was interesting to me about the first arc, was that, like, the first arc is a lot about Juan trying to help Chiron and Juan trying to, like, teach him things and, like, show him things, and a lot of Chiron not talking and a lot of Chiron just, like, absorbing or trying to understand or trying to figure out. And it's a lot of the scenes with them, Juan is clearly in control, but not in, like, a negative way. It's like he takes him to eat. Like, he follows him into the abandoned house where the kids are chasing him. And, he gives him the option to come with him, but like at the end of the day, he's coming with him. Like he's gonna make sure he comes with them. He takes him to eat. He takes the food away at one point because he's not answering any questions, but he still gives the food back because he's like not gonna actually take the food away. It's like not that he's controlling, but like he's trying to have some sort of authority to like get him to open up and talk or whatever. And it's that end scene of the first arc where they're at the table where that whole dynamic is flipped, where Chiron takes the lead. He's asking the questions. He's controlling the conversation. And then he just chooses to leave. And I thought that was like an important, like defining thing for Chiron to be like, I need to take control of myself in whatever way I can. I don't know. I will say there are definitely moments where the movie was slow. Like I didn't think the movie was too long, and I didn't really get bored with the movie at all because I was very intrigued with where it was going and kind of wanted to see how it was playing out. The end arc when they're in the diner for a long time, kind of similar to where you and Todd and Mike both thought that he was going to.
I didn't think that was definitely going to happen, but I was like, oh, I figured it was like, you can never tell with A24 movies if they're just going to go completely fucking dark. Yeah.
So I was trying
he
to
reveals that he's an alien.
Like, it's usually like the last like 10 minutes too of a movie that like all this psycho shit.
Was Sorry to Bother You an A24 film?
Yeah. No, actually, I don't think that was.
I don't think so.
That
seems like it should be though.
That whole diner scene. There was part of me that was like, is the conclusion to this movie someone else from Chiron's past gonna show up at this diner and kill him? Like, is that what's gonna happen? Because there was a couple of different times they focused on the door.
Get killed too.
Yeah, there was a couple times they focused on the door, and I was like, who's coming in the door?
Well, I think that was on the door, and they also focused on remember, you always told them to sit facing the door.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if like there was.
Oh yeah, and he didn't sit facing the door, did he?
Yeah, he was like sitting at the counter, like waiting to talk to us. I was like, oh man, where's this going?
But then they sat in a booth. They sat in a booth after, and he was facing the door.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think they were showing the door because it was like him like debating on if he should leave or not.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
There was something I was going to say about the third act. Yeah, I don't know. There was a few times where I feel like there was long periods where the camera would just hold on a character and nothing happened, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. I like now I need this to pick up. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. But like at the same time, like I get what you're saying because I felt that way at some points too. But also like after the fact and being done with it, I appreciate some of those just like long like scenes. I don't know, they're just like artfully shot, most of them. I liked too. I feel like a lot of the shots were like not traditional shots. Like when they're riding.
You need to go back and watch Hereditary because there's a lot of artistic shots in that movie.
Listen, there was. Girl's head gets chopped off.
But no, between like when she's working on her little house and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
The goat.
I did like there's a couple different times where they're riding in cars and it's like interesting camera placements in those car scenes. Like it's not just like a normal what you'd expect for like a normal car scene. For a conversation. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much negative to say about the film. I really I think out of all the movies we've watched, I think this might actually be the movie that I like the most that we've watched out of all the movies.
Oh, of course it is. You fucking picked it. What do you expect? I think I told you it's like one of those movies I'd probably never want to watch again. But which doesn't mean it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
But it's just something I'd probably ever watch.
I think
it's a really good movie. It is not a movie that catches my attention.
Yeah.
So
no, I get that.
I have no reason to go back to it.
I get that. I mean, I probably wouldn't watch it again either. I maybe would watch it again like years from now when I haven't seen it in a long time. Like, you know what, I'll watch this again. But like I also don't really watch many movies a second time anyway. So.
And there was no bing bang boom popcorn in the any scene. So what are you gonna do?
I feel like you haven't said much, Mike. This movie just didn't touch you in any ways, or?
I was thinking about how at some point I thought to myself, I think after I watched it, which was I think I finished it last night, or was it this morning? No, I don't remember.
We all just
point is, I
fucking
was like,
watch these movies like the day before. We all have a problem.
Not usually.
I
No,
watched it earlier in the week.
But essentially, what it came down to was I was thinking to myself, am I going to think about this movie after we talk about it? And there's a good chance I won't. I think I will forget about this film. Not that it's bad, it's just that I don't think I care that much.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's valid. Everyone's
It's a
allowed to
character
have
piece. Yeah.
It's character piece. It was interesting, and it definitely, shown some light into like a perspective I don't think I ever thought about before or considered. And it was interesting in that regard, but I don't think I'll think about it again.
Well, that's like when I see a movie like this and I start thinking about this and I'm like, holy shit, there's so many people that have to go through this fucking shit and like deal with these lives. And you don't like, it's not something you're always thinking about. So I do think it's like, good to see something like that to like be like, holy shit, like knock you right back down to earth and be like, oh, okay, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I appreciated a lot about this movie. It's definitely something I like want to think about it more because I want to kind of dissect it more because I liked the presentation of the movie, I like the cinematography, I like the like everything we've talked about positively, like the lighting, like the sound design.
I keep on seeing so much fucking negative shit with schools though, and I'm like, as my kids get older, I'm like, fuck, I don't want my kids to go to school.
Yeah.
You just see like the bullying and shit. Like, I'm like, oh god, don't go to school. Just stay young.
I was super hyped when Sharon goes
with the
back
chair.
To school. It's like
yes,
with the chair. I was like, so what's he gonna do? He's gonna fight him? You gonna punch him? Oh no, you're just gonna get a chair.
As soon as he picked up the chair, I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a dream sequence, right? And then he got arrested, and I was like, when's this dream sequence ending? It's a weird thing. This is like a weird daydream.
That was definitely, that scene was like, I was expecting him to go in there and just like fight him, not to pick up a chair and fucking bash it over his head.
Right. Yeah, it was great.
The camera would go back to him just laying on the floor, completely
motionless. Yeah.
All
right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's done. Oh, he's sleeping, boy. He's sleeping.
Yeah, I don't know. It was really good. I liked, like, I think all the actors that play Sharon were great. Like even like the young kid where like he didn't say much. I feel like he was just really good at like
his facial expressions and stuff are good.
Yeah, like very good. And
Middle Chiron is the one that plays RZA, I think, in the Wu-Tang show.
Oh, that makes sense. He looks like he'll play ODB too, kind of, if he like grew out his hair.
And then the adult Chiron, like black version Chiron, he could definitely do a 50 biopic.
That's what Jen said too.
I was like, wow, this guy looks a lot like 50.
That's what Jen said too.
He's playing Mike Tyson.
Is he? Is he?
Biopic, and he was in the new Predator movie, the one with the one that was terrible from the guy who directed Iron Man 3, Shane Black.
One with Adrian Brody in it. Oh no, the newest one.
No.
The newest one.
Yeah, the newest one. It was so bad.
I meant to look that up actually.
The one with what is his name? The guy from Tropic Thunder.
Kyle and Peele, or whatever the guy's name is. Peele, or
he was in that too.
He was in it too.
Danny McBride, wasn't Danny McBride in it?
No, he was in. You're thinking of the second Aliens Prometheus movie. He was like the pilot for that. Yeah.
I'm trying to. The actor that played third act Kevin, he looked really familiar, but I don't know from what. I can't find him on IMDb. Were they 16 in the third act, or is it after that?
No, he would have been old.
All cast.
They were older than 16.
Let's see. Kevin age 9, Kevin age 16, Kevin. Just Kevin. Andre Holland. He was in Moonlight, Selma, 42.
42 is the Jackie Robinson movie.
Yeah, I didn't see any of those. I don't know. I may have just seen his face somewhere or something because he looked familiar. Someone was going to say something. Someone said
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, you were looking up actors. I like had looked up the IMDb page for it, like, while I was watching it, because I like kept saying like, "Oh, that person looks familiar. Like, do I know him from anywhere?"
Mm.
So I did that, and then like I went to the Wikipedia page because I like was having trouble, like you just did. Like it would say like Kevin age 9, Kevin like. So I was like, all right, let me see if I can find this like in a better format. So I went
Yeah.
to Wikipedia, and the actors are all in a different like order
Oh no.
because like the actors like all it feels like obviously this is a movie about Chiron, so like the other actors are just like all background characters essentially.
Yeah.
Like obviously like some of them have more like defined roles in his life, but like you could just kind of like throw them the rest of them at a wall. Like
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I really liked it. That was a good movie. That was a really good movie. I thought it was just a good movie. Like obviously it's a I mean none of us can speak to the dealing with your own sexuality conversation and if that is a good portrayal of that, you know, growing up. There are other aspects that I think none of us can relate to with like drugs and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if those things are more poignant to people that have had those backgrounds or have those you know kind of touchstones in their own life. But I just thought as somebody who doesn't have those things to personally pull from, I thought it represented those things in meaningful ways and through the lens of someone who was, you know, growing up trying to deal with all those things.
yeah, like Todd said, like it was eye opening.
Yeah.
Like having that perspective, like
But any other final thoughts on Moonlight? Or I guess here I am curious to see what everyone thinks about this because I have my thoughts on it. But the movie wraps up in a way where he's got seemingly, hopefully, a lot more life to live. But I have an argument for the movie is resolved, but I feel like you could also make an argument for there wasn't a resolution or wasn't, you know, I could see someone having an issue with the ending, but I personally, the way I interpreted the ending, I think it makes sense to me, but I don't know if anyone has thoughts on how the movie ends because it ends very abruptly.
yeah, I'm just used to that by now.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say the same thing. Right.
I never considered that there's more to tell, especially because this was a movie. As we said a bunch of times, like it's a character piece or whatever. Like that was something that I didn't really grasp until well past the halfway point. So like I wasn't looking for a quote unquote resolution. Even his like reconciliation with his mother, I wasn't really expecting. It was nice to have, and then for him to kind of go back to Kevin, that was nice too. So I didn't need much more than that or expect anything else. So it ending where it did,
There wasn't a plot to wrap up.
yeah,
It was
it was just his life.
Yeah.
It was him. The movie was about him accepting who he was, and that's how the movie ended. Like him accepting, like, yep, this is who I am. Like this is the real me. So
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a better way to end it. Like
No,
that's the end. Like he accepts who he is.
I agree with you. That's why I think the ending. That's what I took from the ending was that like it was he finally is, you know, comfortable accepting who he is and showing somebody, at least somebody else, who he is. And then I think
I think a lot of the movie was him being comfortable with himself.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Not even necessarily like telling like other people who he is. Like I think a lot of the movie was like him like learning who he is.
Yeah. I think at some point he does know who he is, but I think knowing who you are and feeling alone is like that's a thing that transcends not just like dealing with your own specific problems or specific things going on, whether it's your sexuality or, you know, your you know, house life with your parents and drugs or whatever it may be. I feel like you, even if you can accept who you are or your circumstances or whatever it may be, I feel like being alone in that makes that much harder. And I feel like at the end, not only does he accept who he is, but he has, at least for that moment, someone to accept him, which I think is equally important to have. Because it does come up both visually and in certain dialogue moments where, again, like, he feels somewhat comfortable with Juan and Teresa in Act 1, but it doesn't pan out. He feels comfortable enough with Teresa to, like, seek shelter and comfort in a meal, but still doesn't fully, you know, express things. And then when he goes to jail or whatever happened after he got pulled out of high school, he got sent to Atlanta or whatever. I don't know. Did they say he went to jail or went to, like, some sort of something? When he got out, or someone that was in there was like, "Oh, I can set you up," you know, doing this type of whatever. It was a situation where he wasn't being himself. He was just like, he didn't know what to do. He didn't have his own thing. He didn't feel comfortable with who he was or having someone to confide in. So he let someone else kind of narrate the beginning of Arc 3 for him. And then Kevin reaching out kind of, I think, wakes him back up.
I thought that call was going to be his mom, or someone saying that his mom died. That's
Yeah.
what I assumed that call was when it came through. I was like, and they kept on, like, blowing her off.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, it was a good movie. I liked it a lot. All right. Any other final thoughts before we wrap things up?
I want to know Dom's movies now.
I can't wait to see Mahershala Ali as Blade.
I said that to Dom today.
Same. We were just talking about this. Yeah.
I'm excited that they keep bringing in, like, you know, good actors. Not that like the MCU struggled with bad actors before. I just think, like, I think they're choosing to try to bring in some, you know, good actors. Like, good. I feel like Mahershala Ali is well known. He's been
He's Oscar winning.
He's Oscar winning, but I think he's been at least nominated for other roles too. That he's been. I feel like he has done a lot of movies that he's been at least.
He won
at the
back
Oscar.
to back, didn't he? With
Did he?
Oscars? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. He won for Green Book or the.
Oh yeah,
Black
yeah,
Book,
he did.
Green
the
Book.
one Green Book, yeah.
With Viggo Mortensen.
The one that people had a problem with because it was like, yeah, it like almost romanticized slavery again.
Let me pull up his thing. 2 Oscars
or something like that. It like, I don't know. It like romanticizes living in the South or something. I forget what it was.
Yeah, I think it from what I understand, it like glossed over what was a true story and made it like a little bit less.
I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think what it was that it was supposed to be like it's like a white knight syndrome where like the white guy is like the hero of the racist's tale. Yeah,
like The Blind Side.
Yes.
Sure. I didn't see Blindside, so.
Yes, he won in 2019 for the Green Book supporting role and 2017 for Moonlight. He's won some Emmys and nominations for Emmys, but it looks like that's maybe his only Oscar noms, according to IMDb. But I mean, nominated twice at the Oscars, winning both times. That's some
Christopher Waltz shit. Right
pretty locked down right there.
Christoph.
I feel like he'd be good in the MCU. The guy.
Christoph Waltz.
That's the guy from Inglourious Basterds, right?
Yeah, that's the guy that won for playing a Nazi and then won for playing like an anti-racist back to back.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he was fucking. I thought he was real good in Django. He won for Django.
So
he's a good actor.
Yeah. He would be real fucking good in the MCU as a villain. I don't know what villain, but he would be fucking good in the MCU.
I think the thing that the MCU is doing right now is they're taking a lot of like award-winning actors and putting them in roles, and then taking a lot of like unknown kids and putting them in roles.
Which I guess that's kind of what they did at
good.
the beginning too, though, because they brought in Robert Downey, which was kind of a little more of a complicated thing. But like
that was risky at the beginning.
I mean, the whole thing was risky because they bet big on Hemsworth and Evans, and like they were nobodies. Yeah, I don't know. But any other closing thoughts before we wrap this up?
Dom, what's your picks?
It's not really a thought.
Are we at the point?
We'll do picks after what's in the box. I want to really string people along. Any other thoughts on the movie, or we're done with Moonlight? It's a lot of silence while I'm looking at my notes to see if I missed anything about the movie.
Oh, I gestured dust down off my hands. That was really more of a visual thing, so that was my indication that I have nothing more to say.
Okay. Well then, without further ado, what's in the box? If you're new or this is your first time listening, you don't know what what's in the box is. What's in the box is a game where I pull 3 games off my shelf. The panel has to guess what that game is after I read the back of the box. First one I get, it gets the point. Right now, the leaderboard for 2022, Dom is in first with 25 points. Todd behind him with 18. Mike, though, almost had the sweep last week, creeping up at 16 points. I got 3 stumps, and then for guest points, Odell has 1, Ken Shepard has 2, Cameron Hawkins 2, and Mike Towndra has 1 point. Without further ado, what's in the box? You need... No, you're good. You're good. You just got to give me...
I'm the close.
Most of the title.
Blank, 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 blank. On a very magical journey, blank, blank.
And on the island of blank.
Be greater. When a new villain threatens blank, 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 and blank, blank, apostrophe S, worlds collide. To save the city and those he loves, he must rise up and be greater.
B. Is this the B movie game? Do you have that? Do you own it?
Oh my god.
Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Snipe.
No.
That's actually a good guess, though.
Be greater.
Spider-Man PS4.
Dom, when you said that, Dom, I had to just stare down. I'm like, I can't look up.
The way the first sentence sounded, it sounded like it was like a sequel. That's why I was like, okay, so it's got to be the second one.
When a new villain threatens New York City, Peter Parker and Spider-Man's worlds collide. Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit.
I know. So the whole marketing behind that game was be greater. That's why I was like, maybe this is too easy.
I didn't pay attention to that.
Todd gets the point.
I should have just guessed Spider-Man after I said that.
Right.
Game number 2. A blank blank video game. Become the blank and journey through an arcade dream as you break hearts on your blank at blank blank. Speed through dance battles and chase scores.
I know. Yeah, he got it. I was gonna say.
I was like, fuck, I don't know what to blank out here. There's too many obvious things.
I waited to say it too. I was like, I'll give it a good one.
Game number 3. We're flying through these tonight. Winner of over 80 awards, including. Hold on, I want to reveal it on the camera. Including Game Informer E3 2011 Best of Winner, X-Play Best of E3 20. I'm assuming 11 winner. Wow, these are really small. Game Critic Award E3 Best of Winner. Game Trailers Best of E3 Winner. Bring us the girl. Wipe away the debt.
Oh, Bioshock Infinite.
Fuck, Todd came for these dubs tonight. Wow.
Where you said wipe away the debt. That's you go. I was Liam's like in the room right now, and I was like watching him, and I was trying to listen at the same time. And right when you said bring me the girl, wipe away the debt, I'm like, oh, Bioshock.
See, I barely played this, so I didn't know how revealing that sentence would be. Maybe I should have.
It's really. I mean, I feel like only a diehard like me would probably get that. I don't think many people would probably.
You know, it's funny. I was going to pull Max Payne 3 tonight just to see if Todd would get it right away.
I probably would, but bust that out one of these days.
So that leaves us at Dom with 26, Todd with 20, and Mike.
Man, I should have had Sayonara Wild Hearts too. I choked on that one. Man.
I should have had Spider-Man though.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Has there been a week where someone has swept all three?
I think Dom did.
Dom has had to have because he's so far ahead. But that's now back-to-back weeks. Mike almost had the sweep last week. Todd almost had the sweep tonight. Dom, next week's got to be your week to sweep. Got to break the fucking no-no. But before we wrap it up, Dom, your June picks for the PTC Movie Club.
So June is Pride Month. So for Pride Month, I'll be doing Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Hold on, let me write that down because I don't even know what you just said.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Hedwig and the Angry Witch.
Hedwig.
Okay.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
What do you mean, like the owl, Mike? What does that even mean?
The owl from Harry Potter.
This is a Harry Potter movie?
No.
Okay. All right. And what is the... You said you're picking 2 movies?
Yes. So that is that's a pick for Pride Month. And then I will be doing, in honor of Kenobi coming out this week, we will be watching Moulin Rouge.
I was waiting for like Rogue One or something, but all right.
Yeah.
It's my pick is musicals.
Yeah, but is Hedwig and the Angry Witch a musical?
They're both musicals, and it's Angry Inch.
Oh, I put witch. All right, hold on, let me change that again.
Yeah, it's the Angry Witch isn't coming up. What is it?
Inch.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
How do you spell Moulin Rouge? Moulin Rouge. Okay.
MOULINROUG.
Like I have to rent 2 movies.
No. Moulin Rouge is streaming somewhere. I forgot to look to see if Hedwig was streaming somewhere.
All right.
Moulin Rouge says that it's on Hulu with a premium subscription. It's on Stars.
Let's go.
It's on Stars.
Damn it.
Amazon Prime. That also says premium subscription.
Yes, let's go. I got 2 fucking options. All right.
Oh, I'll figure something out.
But all right, there you go. There are your Dom's picks for June. You get Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
I was hoping Dom was gonna. I was hoping he was gonna pick La La Land since the whole Oscar fiasco.
So I listened to the episode that we weren't on, the one with Cam, and he was complaining about La La Land, and I was like,
what about,
do I do La La Land because we're doing Moonlight?
Oh, La La Land is so fucking good. It's like top 10 movie. I fucking hate musicals. Like despise musicals, and I love La La Land.
Well,
the music's so good too.
You know, you know the deal with a bonus movie pick. Obviously, we all have things we got to do and get done. Not everyone has to watch it. I don't think Todd was able to watch the last one we did. So like,
no, I did. I watched The Wiz.
But didn't you miss that episode though for some reason?
No, I was there. I was on that episode because we did it back to back, didn't we?
I don't even fucking know.
Yes, we did do them back to back.
Well, either way, if for some reason, I mean, again, we all.
Yeah, I mean, I could do the episode by myself if nobody wants to do it. But...
No, I'm gonna watch it. I'm on board with every episode. So
I'll watch it and then not contribute and just listen to you do the entire thing by yourself while I sit there.
Hedwig
and the Angry Inch is available on the Canopy app. feel like
Yeah, but I need
I
to.
feel like we're giving the Canopy app some
Yeah, but I
shout-outs
have
recently.
to get a new library card to use the Canopy app.
Having fun isn't hard if you've got a library card, Mike.
Yeah, we've established that. Thank you, Arthur. But I still need to go get a new library card.
If you go on the Canopy app, you can like register for one online. I'm pretty sure. That's how I did mine. So,
Anyways, that's all we got for you this week. Thank you so much for listening, hanging out, watching the show live or later on YouTube. As always, you can find everything we do at passcontroller.io. You can follow me at BGrim. You can follow Mike at _MichaelPath, Todd at Toddy_by_nature, and Dom at PTC _one little spark. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to the show. Subscribe to the show on wherever platform you listen, and share it on social media. Tell a friend. Get your buddies on board. And until next time.